years of relative silence, Star Wars fans finally have a first look at the main cast of the upcoming coming-of-age story, Skeleton Crew. Stick around to find out what this is going to be about and where this takes place in the rest of the Star Wars universe. I'm Brennan Sem for the New Wave Nerds. Like and subscribe below for more nerd content and commentary. Now let's read the news. From IGN, Star Wars Skeleton Crew merch reveals first look at main cast. An epic tale of friendship and determination awaits. Star Wars fans finally have a first look at the main cast of Skeleton Crew, the upcoming Disney Plus series starring Jude Law. The reveal doesn't come through an official trailer or poster from Disney, however, but instead through an early piece of merchandise that reveals the four children at the heart of the Goonies-inspired show. Available through Fanatic, the Skeleton Crew official ingot features an engraving of the group, but its box provides a proper look at their live-action characters. Only 3 of the 4 appear human, as the 4th is an elephant-looking alien not unlike Max Rebo from Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So down here we have the first look of the ingot. I think I can zoom in on IGN. Perhaps not. So this is the promotional material. I think the other images, other slides in this gallery provide some more up-close images, but this is the actual merchandise here. Let's see. So we've got our main characters up at the top. This is a bit of a weird a style choice to go for, I guess. I'm not particularly crazy about the hair, but I am interested to see, is this person blind? Do we think they're blind? Do we think that they are just technologically savvy? Because we've always got to have one of those in every ensemble cast, one person who knows how to restart the router. I do like this sort of the idea, or the fact, I guess, not the idea, but the fact that we are getting more, we're expanding out our main cast as far as species go. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just humans. There's nothing wrong with, what are some other Star Wars races? Bothans or I'm really at a loss. What kind of species is Greedo? What species is Greedo? Let's see. He is a Rodian. That's right. So, I mean, and, whatever we got. I mean, I don't know what Luminari Undula is or like Plo Koon. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with humans in the sort of standard cast of races, but I'm glad that we're sort of expanding out a little bit and seeing a little bit more of the broader aspect of this, galactic republic. I wish I wouldn't have maybe chosen this species. I probably would have gone with the same species as some other character that we already know. Personally, I think it would have been fun to see. Okay, so my thinking is that I think if you're going to introduce an alien and in a species that we're relatively unfamiliar with, seeing at least, I think it should be, a species that we've already seen somewhere, and presumably from a character who maybe has a little bit of is loved by the fans, or somebody whom the people want to see return. Right? There's been a big what is the proper way to describe this? A big debate online, let's say, over the fate of like Plo Koon. Dave Filoni himself is a huge fan of Plo Koon. I think that's actually his favorite character, or at the very least, he talks about him a lot. And he talks about how he begged George and argued with George Lucas about whether or not Plo Koon would have survived. A species like that would have been fun, or like the what are they called? I don't know what the species is called, but from Glee, Anselm, like Kit Fisto. That would be fun. Let's see, what species is he? Nautolan. That makes sense. A Nautolan, that would be fun. Or like what are oh geez, what is the story arc in the Mon Calamari? That's what they are. I think that would be fun to see. I think they could, I mean, they're a little bit preposterous looking. And granted, we've already seen a few of them in live action, obviously, with Admiral Ackbar, the most iconic of the Mon Calamari. And then this guy who is the Quarren, that's right. We see a bit of the Quarren, and I think Mando. Yeah, because so I don't remember exactly where this is in Mando. So I guess maybe spoilers. It's not, I think it's in one of the first two seasons, so it's not really all that recent. But there's a part. No, it must be season two. It must be season two. Sorry, because Bo-Katan shows up at the end of the scene. Basically, a Quarren, long story or short story long, a Quarren pushes Mando into a hole. Down into the water to get him eaten by some big fish or something. I don't know, whatever. But it's a cool introduction for the Mandalorians. But I would really like to see some more of these aliens. Actually, here we go. This is another example of the Mon Calamari in live action. I don't remember what this is actually from though. Oh, The Mandalorian. There we go. I'm curious as to see. I wish I could remember season 3, episode 6. Oh, Guns for Hire. So this would have been the episode with Jack Black and Lizzo. Features the forbidden romance between Quarren Captain Shoggoth and the son of Mon Calamari Viceroy. In the episode, their love story serves mainly to show how the Mandalorians under Axe Woves currently operate in the galaxy. However, in this deceptively minor piece of the episode, Shoggoth and the Prince show how old prejudices still could give rise to new conflicts and create cracks in the New Republic to allow for the rise of the First Order. Interesting. But regardless, I mean, I think that looks good. I mean, I like the way I feel like if I remember in motion, I think that these two species look fine in live action. Presumably, I guess Mandalorian's probably got a much larger budget than Skeleton Crew would, but I think that would be fun. I don't know. I'm just like I said. I mean, there's nothing necessarily against this species. To me, it looks like he reminds me, I guess, of like Alf or something. I just can't take it. I don't know. But this is, I guess this is this is just my prejudice showing through. There's something about, maybe it's the way it looks in relation to the rest of the humans. Maybe it's because it's so, like, the skin color is very blue and it's so obvious that the difference is there. I don't know. But I personally would like to see, some more species that we don't, that are played by sort of these tertiary characters. I would like to see that definitely make a bit of a resurgence. Like I said, the Mon Calamari, they've been sort of shoved to the side. I want to see the Nautilans. Kit Fisto has always been one of my favorites. I don't know. I guess I could Google this too. I guess we're doing a lot of Star Wars Googling today. But whatever species Plo Koon is, I would really, really be interested in seeing some more of them, because I think this is the only one that we actually see in most things. Keldor is the species. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only one that we really see is Plo Koon. Obviously, we've got I zoomed past it, but like there's the old Republic, like the video games, and I think most of these are just like fan art. I don't know if these are actually stills from like comics or anything. So, I mean, if that's true, then this is certainly a race that has been underutilized, and it's one that I know. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Oh, I like this a lot. Dad, I hope that you're watching this, or Brady, I hope that you're watching this so that you could see this from Hero Forge and buy this so that we can use it next time. Ooh, a Keldor Sith Lord. That's actually an interesting aesthetic. I like the sort of regal nature of the black with the gold. Definitely. Oh, Darth Abaddon. Is this a real person or is this a? Interesting. But I really like this sort of. We're going with the. What am I doing here? I forgot where I was going. But yeah, I would like to see. What is this? A bounty hunter? He kind of looks like a mix between Cad Bane and. There's another bounty hunter who shows up in the Clone Wars TV show. I think at one point he's got a pet dog, and he's really cool. I think his name starts with like an O or something, and he's got a cool hat that he throws around a lot. It's not going to come to me in a timely manner, so there's no point talking about it. But that's something that I would like to see. You know, like I said, it's not a big deal. I'm not particularly, I don't feel particularly crazy about this show, but I want to zoom in a little bit closer on the actual ingot itself, because in the box, we don't have this droid. We don't have this droid, and I don't think this is Master, or not Master. Is it Master? I don't think this is Huyang that we see in mostly in the Clone Wars, although I think he shows up in Ahsoka, which I still haven't watched, and I absolutely need to. I suppose that's probably what I should start today. I've been looking for a new show to start. I just finished Ripley. Stick around for the weekly fixation. I will absolutely be talking about that. I've got a lot of thoughts. So maybe I'll start Ahsoka, which means I'm going to have to do a whole Star Wars rewatch, so I don't know. But I don't think this is Huyang, which means that this is a different droid. I assume this is the droid here, right? You would think that these are the 4 kids and that this droid is leading these. These skulls are a little disconcerting. I wonder what these are in reference to. Whose skulls? I wonder if they're going to be like members of this friend group in crew who ultimately, how do I put this delicately, bite the dust in the opening salvo. That could be something, because as you know, this is a coming of age story, but as John Watts has explicitly said, is that this is not a children's story. This is not like a children's series. This is not designed for kids. This is supposed to be a little bit more. It's supposed to go a little bit deeper than that. So why don't we just finish out this IGN article here? Disney has been unusually quiet about Skeleton Crew since its announcement in May 2022. Despite the show wrapping filming in January of 23. Wow, that was a long time ago. Really? It wrapped filming January of 23. That's over a year ago. Some fans were given an incredibly brief preview at Star Wars Celebration 2023, but this merchandise reveal is the first time the majority of the fandom have seen the characters. An epic tale of friendship and determination awaits, reads the official blurb on the ingot, though it doesn't offer any more details about the show itself. The engraving features what appears to be a droid character too, but it's impossible to garner anything more. And the Star Wars Celebration 2023 preview already showed Law's character as human. Jude Law, that is. Disney may reveal more about Skeleton Crew and its release window upon completion of The Acolyte, the upcoming High Republic set show debuting June 4th, 2024. I'm excited for that. But fans will otherwise just have to wait patiently for announcement or more leaks to hear more. I believe John Watts speaking at CCXP. I don't know exactly what that stands for, but I know that it's a Comic-Con. I believe this year it was held. The beginning of this month, it was held in Mexico City, which I believe was the first time they had been there. And at this convention, John Watts had, I don't know if he'd explicitly said, but he'd hinted at least that they were planning at a December of 24 release window for this. So it's really weird to me that we haven't gotten really much anything out of this at all. Like I said, filming wrapped in January of 23. I know originally this show was supposed to premiere in 2023. Originally, obviously delays happen, but that was the original plan. So the fact that it wrapped over a year ago and we've still seen practically nothing, and they are allegedly shooting for a release at the end of this year, this is really weird to me. Where's the promotional material? Why is nobody talking about this? I mean, granted, I understand that all of the attention is on The Acolyte because that is the next upcoming show. That is what it comes out, what does it say, June 4th? That's like 2 weeks from now. So I understand all of the focus being on that, but it's still weird to me that we haven't seen anything. I mean, I'm not expecting like a massive promotional dump. Like I said, that's going to have to obviously wait until after the Acolyte comes, because you want the whole focus to be on the Acolyte. But the fact that we haven't even gotten any like little stuff is just incredibly weird to me. I don't understand it. Not even any little teasers. Like they said in the IGN article here, there was a brief preview showed at Star Wars Celebration of 2023, but that's really been it. That's been it since we got this ingot. And the Star Wars Celebration, I don't remember off the top of my head exactly when that took place. I want to say it was somewhere around October. I think we covered it back then, but it was a very long time ago. What is that? 7 months? That's over half a year. I can barely remember what happened earlier today. So, I mean, it's just really weird to me that we've gotten literally nothing. I mean, it's been practically nothing for everybody, but the broader fan base has gotten literally nothing. There's been no updates. There's been no reviews. There's been absolutely nothing. And so I'd be surprised if this doesn't get delayed again for another 6-8 months. I don't know. I mean, Jon Watts coming out recently, relatively recently, earlier this month, and saying that they're shooting for December. That sort of, puts a little bit of the kibosh on the fact that they might delay it again. But the fact that we're not seeing anything, it makes me think that they're stuck on something in post-production. They're stuck figuring something out. And honestly, it leads me to believe that we're probably going to get some reshoots, if I'm being completely honest with you. And maybe that's just because I'm feeling very, I don't know. Honestly, that's probably just because of the fact that I had forgotten that this show existed, or that it would exist. I had forgotten that this was announced. Like I said, they announced it in May 2022, but have said nothing until now. And so it's very, I don't know. I feel very lukewarm. I feel like this show is not going to be that great. I feel like they're not putting any real effort behind it, I guess. And I don't know. Maybe this is just my perception, and maybe I'm wrong. But I would think that prior to this, they would at least say something. It's weird that the announcement would come 2 years ago, and then there's practically nothing until January of 23, when you show like a 30-second clip, and then we have to wait a whole nother year and they wrapped filming in January, but I think the Star Wars Celebration wasn't until October. So then we have to wait another half a year for this like leak. And I don't even think it's not even like an official reveal. I don't know if this is an explicit like leak or if this is like an accident or what, in the same sense as like the McDonald's Captain America thing that we talked about the other day. Like that was much more that was I don't know. Is that like the same kind of thing here? Like I don't know. But it's just super weird to me, and I just can't get past that. I don't know why that's sticking in my head so much, but the fact that there has been nothing, I just can't, I don't know. It just makes me believe. It just makes me worry, I guess. I do want to go to this Screen Rant article where we get a, here we go, October of 23. There we go. That was why I was thinking of that. So in October of 2023, actually, you know what? Why don't I just go to the whole section. At D23, Watts described the Star Wars Skeleton Crew show as a coming-of-age story about 4 children from a tiny little planet who become lost in the vastness of space. Watts explained that the Disney Plus TV show will show a unique point of view for a Star Wars story, perhaps showing adventures on a far smaller scale than the movies of the Skywalker saga or even the planet-hopping Mandalorian. Given that Star Wars Skeleton Crew's budget is larger than heavy hitters... Wait, what? That's weird. Given that the Star Wars Skeleton Crew's budget is larger than heavy hitters like Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, Disney seems to expect this novel Star Wars tale to perform well. That is sort of contrary to everything that I was just saying. I didn't realize that the budget was higher, which that just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, presumably, this one is going to be a much more fantastical story. I mean, they're set in a completely, unknown section of the galaxy, and so maybe the effects, that's where all of the budget is going, I guess. But that's weird. I don't know if that necessarily shows that Disney seems to expect this to perform well. Because like I said, I would think that if you expected it, I don't know. I don't know how you can expect it to perform well when it's not even in the public eye for 2 years. Somebody like me who is, relatively up to date on the nerd news, I forget and I'm unaware. I don't know, like, that doesn't translate well to the broader public, right? To people who don't do this on like a daily basis. That doesn't translate well. And so I don't know how Disney could expect it to perform well when you don't really put anything behind it. But what do I know? Maybe it's just going to be absolutely amazing. I don't know. In October of 2023, an official premise for Skeleton Crew was revealed. The premise pertains to the first episode of the show and how the events of the premiere installment impact the rest of the story. The first episode of the Skeleton Crew, we are introduced to 4 kids who make a mysterious discovery on their seemingly safe home planet and get lost in a strange and dangerous galaxy. Finding their way home, meeting unlikely allies and enemies will be... Wait, sorry. The inflection on that was wrong. Finding their way home, meeting unlikely allies and enemies will be a greater adventure than they ever imagined. Well, yes. Now, like obviously that doesn't exactly give a lot. We're putting like this. The kids are presumably set in this fish out of water area, and there's still it's very vague. That's a very vague description. We don't know what this mysterious discovery is. Is it? I don't understand how this mysterious discovery ends up with them getting lost in a strange galaxy. Did they get like teleported? Is this going to be like the thing that Ezra, spoilers for Rebels and I guess for Ahsoka, though I don't know how this is spoilers for Ahsoka because like I said, I haven't seen it. I just know that this plays a factor in the show at some point. Are they going to step through a gateway similar to the thing that Ezra steps through at the temple on Lothal that allows him to, I guess, traverse time, I guess. That's still a little foggy on that. I still don't necessarily like that concept, but I do love that show and that episode, frankly. Whoops, I opened a new tab. So I don't know. That's weird. When this was originally announced, I remember seeing a news story that this show was going to revolve around, or rather, this show was going to expand us past the known universe. And this was going to be done in relation somehow to the Ahsoka TV show. I don't know if things really bared out. I don't know if that was just a rumor. I don't know obviously there could have been creative development changes. Like I said, that was 2 years ago. Plenty of time for everything completely to change. And I think Ahsoka came out last year, maybe. I want to say it was sometime of like June of... Would it have been June? It was sometime in 2023 because I remember working. I watched the first episode at work at Untuck It when I was waiting for anybody to come in to buy a shirt. But I remember seeing that, but I haven't been able to find that article since then. Similar in the same way, I guess we're making a lot of references to Captain America this episode. Similar in the way that I remember seeing an article that Brave New World was going to revolve around the aftermath of the celestial Tiamat appearing at the end of the Eternals, but I haven't been able to find that since. Similar in that way, I don't know, like, I guess it seems to me like, Captain America Brave New World is going in a completely different direction, so that, doesn't matter anymore. I don't know. As far as I can tell, just based off of the absolutely vague description, I mean, that hypothesis still could be possible for this upcoming Skeleton Crew. It could be that we travel to a completely different, whatever, and expand and take a look at it and change the, I guess, quote, laws of physics as we know them in Star Wars. I'm not 100% sure, but I am interested absolutely in seeing what happens. I want to know where we go. I think Jude Law is a great actor. He's been in some really good things. I mean, not some things that aren't great, obviously. But I think, I've got a moderately favorable view of him. I don't necessarily like him or hate him. So I'm interested to see how this happens. I'm interested to see where they take this story and how they expand the universe of Star Wars. And is this going to fit in any way to the current shows we have now? I know that this takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, which I believe is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So it is the same time period as the first season of Mandalorian. Crossover potential is limited, but maybe there could be references or what. I'm not sure, but it's interesting to me, and I want to see where they take this. So let me know down below. Are you interested in seeing this? What do you think this story is going to be about? What do you think this mysterious discovery is going to be that throws them into this different part of the galaxy? Let me know down below. Make sure that you like and subscribe for more content. We'll be back here tomorrow with another news segment, and I will see you guys then.